set them free. If I could just remind you, show you what my hands can do. Let them become what words are meant to be. Oh, I know what you need from me. That's a hot record. Mario, Dancing Shadows. Damn, this is a good album. You know what? I feel like I cannot be here long today. I absolutely cannot be here long today. But I would say, man, I feel like two R&B artists I was thinking about today who have classic records, like, and their catalog is just crazy deep. Mario and Ginuwine. The weird thing is that people don't ever speak about these two guys as being all-time greats. At least I don't feel like I know anybody that does. This is a hit. On Mario's latest project, I talked about a record he had called Mars. I had that on repeat like every day for like 6 weeks. And I'm talking about I have this thing playing repeatedly all throughout the day. It's just on repeat. Let Me Love You. What are some of Thinking About You is one that I listen to every freaking day. Crying Out For Me is a good record. Music for Love is a good record. I mean, then you go to Ginuwine's catalog. You got So Anxious. That's a cut. What's So Different? Stingy in Them Jeans. Differences. Like, I mean, these are just two guys that have very deep catalogs when it comes to R&B music. But we never talk about them as if they are one of the greats. It's interesting. I would never say that Mario or Ginuwine are the like absolute greatest of all time, but I don't know, man. I mean, Ginuwine has that Pony record. Is Pony not one of the greatest R&B records y'all have ever heard in your life? I don't know. Most people will go to Usher, Chris Brown, people like that. And there's a part of me that I feel like if Ginuwine dropped, like if he was brand new and came out right now, and they led off with Pony, everything about his career is the exact same. It's just now. I don't think it would take long for him to kind of like get some of these people out of here because his music was that good. Like on the album 100% Ginuwine, it's one of those albums that you can turn it on, you press play, and then you can let it run. None of Your Friends' Business. Again, I said So Anxious. What's So Different? He had a lot. Final Warning. He had Aaliyah on that album. Like, the production from Timbaland is crazy. It's all-time great status. So I don't think it would have taken very long for them to kind of like, I don't want to say that he would have like made it to where Chris Brown wouldn't have had a career because there's a place for everybody. I still think Chris would have been his same amount of great, but there's a part of me that believes that I think Ginuwine in his prime was a better dancer than Chris probably is. Y'all probably gonna be for real like, yo, this nigga's crazy. I'm just telling you what I saw. And I think his actual vocals on his hit songs versus Chris's hit songs, I think the vocals themselves are a lot better for what I feel is R&B music. This is my criteria. This ain't got to be everybody else. So matter of fact, fuck what y'all think. I don't give a fuck. I'm saying what I'm saying because I think this shit is that great. I think Chris is great too. Don't get me wrong. And then you get to Mario. Mario wasn't really dancing like that, but like he can sing. Buddy really can sing. I feel like Mario's right where he needs to be, but at the same time, I feel like we got to talk about people in their catalogs. Mario's been consistently dropping really good R&B records for years at this point. At some point, we got to start giving people the roses that they deserve when they deserve them. We can't wait till something crazy happened to Mario or Ginuwine for us to all then be like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. His stuff was crazy good. Wish we could just get one more album. Because you know that's what people be doing. You want to wait till after the fact. The music is right here. Just appreciate the shit now. People ask me, why don't you listen to all the new stuff that's out? Because all this stuff is still so great. We're just going to let all this shit fall to the wayside? I don't think so. Not like I don't have time to listen to it. I do listen to the new stuff. But a lot of y'all new stuff don't make me feel any type of way. That's just regular to me. But when I hear a lot of these songs, they're associated with memories, times in my life where, you know, shit was either crazy, it was really good, really sad, really bad, all these types of deals. The music has to be able to hit me a little bit in here, and it has to impact me in some type of way. A lot of the shit that these new kids be dropping, I don't do it for me. And I don't think it has anything to do with any type of generational whatever, because I understand exactly what they're talking about. I'm in the loop on a lot of these things. Like, I'm not far behind. I think for me, I'm just like, I've already heard all the stuff that y'all are talking about from other people. The way y'all put your cadences together and actually spit out the lyrics, that's just not good to me. So it just comes down to that. There are a lot of people who are on because they have a high view count on the internet, not because they're actually talented musicians. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it. Not all of y'all are that talented. And that's okay, because you still have a place in the game, because a lot of music is predicated on just being popular. And if you are able to help make a record very popular, you serve a purpose. So there ain't nothing wrong with it. Your shit just ain't for me. And it's okay for me to say that, because once you put the music out there for everybody, it's your art. Yeah, it's great, but it's out there to be critiqued. And some of this shit just is not that hot, and that's okay. But again, why not appreciate these people while they're here? Mario, Ginuwine, two of the all-time greats. I'm trying to think of some other people. I'm gonna have to do like a whole show about it. We're gonna have to get a list of people that I feel like people just really sleep on. If y'all haven't heard that Mars record, you missed it. I don't know what to tell you. Drowning is another record that Mario has that's crazy. I'm not even probably naming half the good ones that y'all be listening to. These are just the ones that I really like, and they just be on the playlist every day. It's fire. All right, man, we're going to make this quick. Dancing Shadows. Oh, my God, that record's fire. I'm doing tomorrow is when I'm doing shout outs and all that type of stuff. I'm not doing that tonight because I'm getting out of here quick. I really just wanted to talk about a couple of sports things and then laugh at how funny. First, we're gonna start with Geico. Geico has the absolute worst insurance and customer service department. I want to start by saying that. But their commercials, whoever is working in that department, goddamn genius. Every commercial that Geico has out right now is fire. But the one with tag team is extra fire. I feel like I have not heard one person say that they hate that commercial or that they're tired of it. Nobody hates it. I don't feel like I've ever been in a space where I've been like, yo, we're all in agreement about this. I'm never in agreement with the masses. When y'all think it's hot, I think it's trash because y'all like it too much. But on this one, on this commercial, I love it. And I love that we all love it. And if you tell me you don't like this shit, Well, I don't know, because I guess you just don't like it. I can't control that for you. But I feel like you're missing out because we all love it. And everybody knows the words too. French vanilla, Rocky Road, chocolate peanut butter cookie dough, scoop. There it is. You love it. You love that you know the lyrics to. How are they even lyrics? Oh my God, yes. I love it. Geico, listen, you've done me wrong for so many years. I despise you as an insurance company, but these commercials, man. I wish that every time I clapped, it was the same sound. It's not. And that's just because my attitude towards them varies just like the claps do. Anyway, I love it. If you haven't seen this commercial, I'm not really sure what channels you're watching because I feel like it's everywhere. I mainly see it on ESPN and then True TV, TBS, TNT, and some others. The commercials out there is hot. The Washington football team, y'all know last year they finally changed the name from the Redskins to the Washington football team because Redskins, pardon my language, that shit is offensive, okay? People have been telling the team for years that this shit is offensive. Dan Snyder has owned the team since like the late 90s, early 2000s. Think about what year it's in. Since the early 2000s gets us at a 2-decade mark minimum. He's owned the team for at least 2 decades. They decided to take that offensive ass name off there and they changed it to the Washington football team in the interim. I read a thing today that says they're thinking about keeping that name. And you know what? My first thought was like, oh, that was real easy. You're just going to add this to the list that maybe we might just keep it as this. And I kind of got a little bit in my feelings thinking like, how shitty is it that these people would take years and years and years to remove a name that's offensive and not at least I think you should consult with all the people you've offended and allow them to name the team. It took you years to take that name off, but it's going to take you less than a year to decide to just keep it as some shitty name that you picked because you didn't want to change the name for years and years and years. You picked this crappy name and now you're thinking about actually keeping it forever. I don't feel like that's right. I feel like they owe it to all Native Americans to keep the name as a name that actually represents them in a proper way. I think that they deserve that. I mean, you bit their whole style for years. You had the logo on the helmet. You were offending them for mad long. They were mad as shit and you knew it and you didn't want to do nothing about it. And you reaped the rewards and benefits off of that shit for years. The least that you could do is consult them and say, hey, what is a name that can be put all over our shit that will represent you properly for the rest of time? And I mean the rest of time. The name don't go away and don't die until the football itself. And I mean on every level. There needs to be absolutely no football in existence before they remove this name from that team. Just a suggestion. Dan Snyder is a shitty human being and a terrible owner. And I feel like I have the authority to say he's a shitty human being because, again, for over 2 decades, that's just his portion of it. For over 2 decades, people have been telling him that the name is offensive. He didn't want to change it. Shit didn't really start getting done until social media apparently got hot. Then all of a sudden, Dan started feeling the pressure. Because now, and you know what it is? It sounds really foul, but if you want white guys to do something for you, you got to call them racist. It's not until that type of shit and that vibe start flying around that all of a sudden they want to do some fucking work. When the rich and powerful ones who are in charge of some of these decisions, they can make these things happen. Until you start threatening their pockets and start calling them racist to where it ends up resulting in them having losses. That's the thing. It's not just regulars. They don't care. It's the people that feel like they have money to lose. When you start making it feel like their pockets will be impacted, then all of a sudden things getting done quick. Like I said, they're trying to have a new name for the team by the start of the season, Cuddy, or maybe the start of next season. That seems pretty quick considering it took over 2 decades for y'all to actually put forth some effort to change this damn name. There's got to be a way they can do right behind this. Josh Gordon, man, he's former Seattle Seahawk. I've talked about Josh on this show before because for some strange reason, Josh cannot stay off the extracurriculars, alcohol, drugs, whatever. I think his drug thing just stops at marijuana, but then the alcohol is a problem. Once you enter into the substance abuse program with the NFL, you basically stay there and you can't participate in those type of activities and play their game. If you know anything about Josh Gordon, like you guys saw how DK Metcalf was this year, right? And everyone thinks he's pretty great. That's basically what Josh Gordon was, except every time he touched the field, he's absolutely the best receiver. There was a point where one season he came off of a suspension and he only had played like 5 or 6 games and somehow still like led the league in receiving, mainly because he was the only one out there catching passes. But like he was an absolute monster, potentially one of the greatest of all time. All he had to do was just stay out of trouble. It's hard to do, man. He just recently was back on the suspension list. And now he's back to telling us that he's going to put his best foot forward and do everything he needs to do to get right so he can get back into the NFL. I said last time that this happened that I felt like Josh's chances had run out, and then he did what he needed to do. He got another chance. And I said, if this happens again, it's got to be done. Josh, I'm a big fan, bro. It might be time to move on to something else. I know physically you can go out and you can play football, but now we're starting to enter into a space where you're just struggling to follow their rules and requirements. But it's also not solely just your fault. Excuse me. Yes, it's solely on you to fix it, but we understand that addiction is a major problem. But you also have it better than most when it comes to accessibility to resources. You've been down this path enough times to know what to do and what not to do. And again, I understand that there are forces sometimes beyond your control helping you to make some of these poor decisions in specific moments. We understand that. We can sympathize with that. And we also understand and have seen how hard you work. But at the same time, bro, like, is it worth it to keep trying to do this when you're having little to no success just meeting the basic requirements of what's needed for you to maintain this specific job? Because there are literally places you can come work a regular job with a lot of us. Listen, there are jobs that you can go, they don't give a damn if you show up drunk or show up high. And I'm not condoning that. I'm just saying now there are jobs where they literally roll out a cart of alcohol to you at the end of the day. All you got to do is wait till the end of the day. That seemed pretty easy, right? And I'm not trying to push you back into anything because I would rather you be completely off that and then go back to being one of the greatest of all time. Because me and all the people that I know, the way we talk about you, we believe in you to be that type of guy. You are that guy. I scoff when they talk about the DK Metcalfs and then this guy and that guy. I'd be like, bro, y'all just don't understand about Josh Gordon. If he was out here, y'all wouldn't be talking about these other people. We know that. Y'all don't understand. Let me stop talking to Josh and talk to y'all. He could have been what LeBron is to the NBA as far as wide receivers are concerned. I know that sounds crazy. Niggas are going to watch the show and be like, here you go again saying something crazy. I saw the games when he was playing in Cleveland. And if you watched him playing in Cleveland, oh my God, he's unreal. Unreal. He was like T.O., Jerry Rice, Chad. He's all these guys, Randy Moss, he's all them rolled up into one person. And if you know football and you know wide receivers, you know that I was naming the best of the best. This guy is all pieces of all of those guys combined. He's that good. But unfortunately, just has some struggles, man. Josh, I hope you get right, bro. I don't want a bad life for you. I don't feel like you've had a bad life. I feel like you were doing pretty well, but like I want you to be able to overcome struggle because I want you to be able to show other people how they can also overcome it. So this was not in an effort to shame you. I just feel like maybe you should just don't worry about football for a little bit. And what I mean by a little bit is for the duration. Don't worry about football. Go get right. And then use these life lessons as a way to teach and educate other people. You don't need football no more. And they're going to keep making it harder and harder for you to maintain the reputation that you deserve. And you deserve to be known as somebody who can contribute and provide and be a good leader. There ain't no way that you have all of these skills and abilities and that they only stay on the football field. I have a feeling that you can do so many more great things. And it doesn't have to just be football related. So as a fan, bro, just go ahead and don't worry about football for a little bit. Go get yourself right, man. You deserve to have a good life, bro. Do y'all know anything about basketball? Draymond Green has decided to tell the world that he's the greatest defender of all time. This is going to be very short. Draymond, stop it, bro. Stay off the weed, as Stephen A. Smith likes to say. Draymond, listen, bro, you are a great defender, but of all time, no. Let me just name you a couple. Dwight Howard, Ben Wallace, Shaq. Shaq was a good defender. Hakeem was a great defender. Dennis Rodman is actually probably the greatest defender of all time. Michael Jordan had a year where he won the MVP of the league and the Defensive Player of the Year award. LeBron, Draymond, you play in the same league as LeBron James. He's a better defender than you are. Of all time, nigga? No, but in all seriousness, Draymond, he is a great defender. You are definitely top 10 all time. I saw some show where they were saying you weren't even top 25 all time. I thought that was disrespect. That sounded like niggas hating. I think you are definitely a top 10 defender of all time, but the number one spot, Cuddy, he's listening to Nelly too much the other night. He heard that, I am number one. Y'all remember when Nelly had that? That shit was hard off the Training Day soundtrack, and it was off the Nellyville album. Draymond really thought he was Nelly, thought he was number one, and you are not, good sir. The last thing. I talked last night about corny ass Derrick Jaxn. I went over his whole thing where, listen, buddy he got called out for creeping on his wife. He made a video where he said that he didn't. And then he came back and made a video with her where he admitted to it. And it looked like he was holding her hostage. She looked like she was very uncomfortable. This whole entire ordeal is embarrassing. But because it's the internet, we're all already laughing. This shit is funny. It gets funnier today because what Derrick decided last night, he said, oh, y'all not going to cancel me. So what he did was he made a video reacting to his last video, and he does the video, the reaction part of it, in third person. At one point, he actually leaves third person, goes back to himself. So then he's Derrick. And then he talks about how all of No, was he Derrick? No, he was somebody else. He was him, but he wasn't him. He was somebody else. And then he goes into how Derrick's videos have been very helpful. This was his plea. I think he was a fan. In that moment, he was a fan of Derrick. And he was talking as a fan to other fans to not cancel Derrick because Derrick's videos had helped him so much throughout his life. And then he immediately went back to third person. Y'all, my mind is blown. You need to go watch this Derrick Jaxn video where he reacts to his own video. These look like the two goofiest niggas walking the earth right now. Him and his wife. And I'm sorry because I know that sounds mad disrespectful. And this is not her fault. But he has her looking like Goofy. And I'm actually talking about the movie. They both look like that character. I mean, the Goofy movie was lit, though. No disrespect to Goofy. I don't understand how you wake up in the morning and go, you know what I'm finna do? No. Accountability? No. No. I'm going to go on and I'm going to tell y'all from a different point of view why I should not be canceled. I couldn't believe it. And you know what was the craziest part? Is he actually had the nerve to blame women for what was happening. And you're going to be like, what are you talking about? How do you do that? You need to go watch the video and you can hear how when he tries to say, well, it's not the women's fault for he literally says, for putting Derrick up on a pedestal. It's not their fault. He says, I'm not going to say that it's their fault, meaning that he thinks that it's their fault. And he's actually using women and placing blame on them for his own transgressions. Y'all thought he was like this guru type. He just a regular ass nigga that had access to a camera phone, a laptop, and he probably reads a lot. He soaks up a lot of knowledge, has witnessed a lot of things. He obviously doesn't practice what he preaches. A lot of us struggle with that. You gotta get right, man. Doing the video in third person, what the fuck was that? You stepped out on your wife. You had some marital woes. That shit happens. Doing a corny ass video so that way you can try to control the way people judge you or whatever your motives were. Like, that's just corny. Everybody out here has done some corny shit. Again, I talked about it last night. I know some really nice people who do some really shitty things to hurt good people. And sometimes they don't even be realizing it. This is one of those times where you realized it and then you like doubled down. You're like, nah, I'm not going for this. I'm not going to let y'all make me feel bad. I'm Derrick Jaxn. He doesn't talk like that, but that voice seemed appropriate because that type of voice, when I hear that, I think somebody that's just going to do whatever the fuck they want and then try to convince you that you're crazy after you catch them doing something that's really off the wall and not appropriate. All these types of things. God. Lord, strike me dead if I'm ever on some bullshit like this. Please. All right, man, the show is over. I'm out of here. Please go watch that reaction video. I had tears going down my face. I was laughing so hard at how funny it was. It's like a 5-minute video, too. Him literally talking in third person, reacting to his own video. Up here, you got to be completely effed in the head, man. You got to be on some crazy shit to be doing that. I need to reach out to his wife, see if she want to be on the show. Shorty, come tell your story on a low budget platform where you're only going to have to worry about the judgment of about between 2 to 7 people. It ain't going to be a lot. You're going to be safe over here. Come on. We got to get to the bottom of this, man. I had more on the sheet, but I'll probably get to it later, man. I'm out of here.